All right, Ike. So in the news this week, there's apparently some there, and I was aware of this. This is coming to you directly from Ike's diligent and studious inspection of Land Rover News every week. That there was some major controversy about the environmental movement, the green movement, and Land Rover advertising.
This is true.
What's going down there?
Yeah, apparently some people are upset that the Land Rover Defender was depicted in a forest scene with some advertising, sort of touting its ability to, take you out of the urban environment and give you a sense of freedom and these sorts of emotive, copy. And I think some people were upset about it. They thought that it encouraged people to drive in sensitive habitats. Although the photo I saw of the advertisement pictures the Land Rover actually on a road. I can't tell if it's dirt or asphalt, but certainly on a road. So I don't know that it does have some mud speckles on the car. And so I think that some folks in the environmental movement were trying to get this banned, and I think initially they were somewhat successful. There was like maybe an injunction or something, and then a larger governing body in the UK, I don't know what that would be, maybe our equivalent of the FCC, ruled that no, there's not an existing rule that prohibits that, so it can continue. But I think it's indicative of a debate that has always been part of the off-road or four-wheel drive community between, folks who are, careful stewards of the environment or crusaders for environmental causes, and then, folks with capable vehicles who want to drive them into remote places. And so I think it's, just an extension of that sort of dialogue. But I think, when you hear these sorts of stories, you think, oh, there's two groups and they have opposing viewpoints. But I think that it's a false dichotomy, because I think that there is a centrist group of people who are environmentally responsible and careful and, want to explore these places and can do so responsibly. So I think that's a voice that isn't quite heard enough. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, and I think that, there is a certain aspect of, the best way to become passionate about protecting nature is to enjoy said nature. I think if, people sort of stay in cities, stay away from the outdoors, stay away from, adventure and overland travel because it may potentially pose a risk to that environment. I think that's kind of moving in the wrong direction. I think until you experience something, it's very difficult to appreciate it. And, I think with the, sort of the, like you said, the responsible off-roading or green laning in the United Kingdom, that you can very effectively get off-road with your car and not totally destroy the environment, not mud buggy through someone's back garden or something. And I don't know. I agree. And probably here in the United States, there are certainly more offenders when it comes to spinning tires through protected wetlands and
cryobiotic soils and whatnot. I think I think that both groups need to spend some time with the other group. I think that some environmentalists probably need to go on an off-road excursion, and then some folks in the off-road community need to participate in some conservation efforts. And that brings up a good point. I think that a lot of these groups who use and are respectful of the outdoors, here in the United States, we have an organization called Ducks Unlimited. It's a duck hunting organization, and they do tons of fundraising for conservation efforts, and the sale of duck hunting stamps and the sale of these sorts of fundraisers. They provide a tremendous amount of funding for conservation efforts in wetlands, in huge amounts of conservation dollars, and even more so than most of the traditionally conservation-based groups. And so I think that's a good maybe a roadmap for other groups of of outdoor users and enthusiasts to follow, that would maybe get them some respect in the environmentalist community and help us continue to participate in outdoor activities without, I guess, being cast as the bad guy.
Yeah, well, because too many trails and things get destroyed, and gates get broken into, and all that sort of stuff. Then the Park Service or whomever's in charge of that space is just going to close it down, and nobody's going to be able to use it anymore, which is a real shame because seeing the amazing territory of the United States by overland vehicle is a real privilege. It's a really amazing sort of thing that you can do, which is actually a great segue into a new-ish segment. Let's just say we're formalizing this segment into something we're calling Tales from the Road, which you had an interesting road trip just very recently. Unfortunately, was not able to come up and join you guys, but I was able to send you our good friend Nick Dimbleby. In an airtight Pelican case, shipped him up to you to enjoy some overland travel.
That's true. Yeah, Nick Dimbleby came up to visit us. Famous Land Rover photographer and automotive journalist, Nick Dimbleby, came up.
He has an amazing body of work. If you haven't checked it out.
Yeah, no, Nick came up. We had been talking about having him come up to visit us here in Oregon and see the shop. And I said, well, Nick, you've already done that. Why don't we organize a little mini adventure, mini excursion, and you can come along with us and see what you think, because we like to take these old Series 1 Land Rovers out into the desert and traipse around and, cook in the Dutch oven and, see some really amazing parts of the United States. And I said, well, we could probably organize a short weekend trip down to the Blackrock Desert or Death Valley or, Three Forks area in Oregon, some relatively remote areas. And you could come along and drive a car or, take photographs or whatever you want to do. Just, check it out. And he was very enthusiastic. So we got some cars ready to go, and we decided that we would do a color themed trip. So we took all yellow.
You sure did.
All yellow Series 1s, all 57s, 57 yellow soft top 88, a 57 yellow station wagon, short wheelbase, and a 57 pickup truck, 109 wheelbase pickup truck. And the 109 pickup truck had kind of been a long-term project, and this was the maiden voyage for that car. I had sold a very similar yellow car to my good friend Steve Francis, who's an epidemiologist in the Bay Area, and so I had kind of kept that a secret from him that I had found another car that was identical to his. And in the meantime,
do you think it's because he would want that car?
I don't know. I thought that it was just kind of fun coincidence, since his car is such a rare car, that I had found another one, and it was kind of a project, so I wasn't really doing a lot with it. So I kind of kept it a secret. And Steve's car, he has removed the engine for an engine rebuild, so he couldn't bring it. And I told him I would provide him with a car, but I kind of misled him and told him that it was I think I told him it was a dumpster fire of an 88 that I was going to bring him to drive. And it was forecast to be kind of cold. So he said, hopefully it has a roof, I think is what he replied. But we kind of kept it a secret. And then we all met at Bruno's Country Club, which our dear friend Nick Dimbleby mistook for a golf club, which is actually a country music club in Gerlach, Nevada, where we were meeting. And ironically, when we were...
Did you guys take in any line dancing while you were there?
Unfortunately, there was no line dancing. There wasn't enough people for a line in all of Gerlach. Yeah, they didn't have enough folks to generate a line of people. But when we were eating lunch there, we noticed... one of their photographs that they have on the wall, kind of historic photographs of the establishment that a lot of places have. one of the pictures of this place has a Land Rover in the parking lot, like prominently featured in the parking lot from the 80s.
But contemporary for the photo.
Yeah, contemporary for the photo.
Was it new?
So,
it was new in the photo. Yeah.
It wasn't new. It was like a Series 2A 88 station wagon, pastel green, and it had like a few bumps and bruises, but it was like, had been out exploring the blackrock. So we had decided, to do the High Rock Canyon Trail, which is a beautiful, really scenic area. It's about a 20-mile long trail, but the trail to get to that trail is, probably 50 miles, 60 miles, something like that. It takes many hours to get there over rough roads and from Gerlach, which is a tiny town only renowned for its biting gnats. And they like fly in your mouth too. It's really horrible. It's like around the
mouth
April,
gnats are the worst.
And for those of you that don't know, the Blackrock Desert is probably most famous for hosting the Burning Man sort of music and art festival each year. And it's within the Blackrock Desert is a huge playa where that event is held. And, for our European and English listeners, it's a vast area. You could spend months and months exploring it. There's trails everywhere, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of square miles of terrain. And it's generally rocky, desert, arid, But in the canyons there are like water crossings, like where all the water has pooled. And so we were worried that we would run into some deep wading sections, that would be 3 to 4 feet deep, and it's kind of a lot for old cars that aren't necessarily prepared for that on stock tires and that sort of thing. So we were a little concerned about that, but the water was only, maybe 30 inches deep. So it was perfect. So we cruised through those deep water sections, and Nick got lots of really cool photos, which I'm excited to see. I got a few really bad photos, which I can put on.
I've seen them. They're great. Some great photos of Nick taking great photos, I think, is you have a great collection of bad photos of Nick taking great photos.
Of Nick taking good photos. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So we had 3 cars, 3 Series 1s, and our friend Brett Gottner showed up in a Series 1 Discovery. So he came from the Bay Area, and we teased him a little bit about his car, which was somewhat out of place, but it was a really nice example of a Series 1 Discovery, totally stock, one owner sort of car, tons of service records that he had just bought and decided to drag through brushy trails and put pinstripes all down the side. So I commend him for
was
that.
it also yellow?
It wasn't, unfortunately, one of the XD yellow cars. It was the white, Alpine white, kind of color. And it was completely stock, still had the air dams on it and everything, which I think he kind of cracked a little bit doing one of those water crossings because the ice was quite thick on some of those water crossings. So the temperatures, were about 60 Fahrenheit during the day, and then like 10 Fahrenheit at night. So quite a bit below freezing at night. And
very chilly.
Very chilly, but really spectacular area. Some neat things to see there. Lots of birds of prey. In fact, that area is closed part of the year for the mating season for raptors. And we also saw lots of carvings. This High Rock Canyon is an area which was part of a wagon road, and so it's been in constant use for a couple hundred years, and you can still drive down the wagon road, and there's still inscriptions on the canyon walls from some of these travelers from the 1860s and even earlier. And then there's also a lot of indigenous. If
you've ever played the Oregon Trail video game, that's where you inscribe which member of your party died of typhoid or whatever.
Yes. I think this is where. This is where one of your party gets bitten by a rattlesnake or something like that. But Oregon Trail, classic computer game. Still love it.
Yeah, tough going. The Oregon
But
Trail.
it was
Non
it was a
sequitur,
great trip.
You can order from Gerber they customize their pocket knives and things like that. You can order them with the Oregon Trail oxen and chuck wagon like laser etched onto the blade of one of their knives if you were so inclined to do so. I thought of all the iconography they can include the original Oregon Trail characters. I appreciate that.
It's a weird product tie-in, but I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of Oregon Trail sponsorships these days, but hey, whatever, you take what you can get, I guess.
So we also, did some Dutch oven cooking. We wanted to show Nick that we could have something other than backpackers meals on one of our trips. So we did Dutch oven biscuits and gravy, which were was it biscuits and gravy? Chicken and dumplings. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Jenna does a really amazing chicken and dumplings in the Dutch oven, and then we had pork shoulder with chili verde tacos.
Ooh. Nice.
Pretty solid the next day.
Wow.
But, really no problems with the Land Rovers. They performed pretty flawlessly. We didn't have to do any winching, put several hundred miles off-road on the cars, and no significant issues. The only issues that we had were with Steve's Ford F-350, which decided it didn't want to run at 11 o'clock at night, with a 4-hour drive back to Reno so that Nick could catch his flight. So we had to do some work on his F-350, which was the only car that provided problems on the trip. And that was just at the very end. But the
nearly 60-plus-year-old Land Rovers, no problem. But
none.
I imagine relatively modern F-350. Yeah, well, that's too bad.
The disco leaked a little coolant. Though. Yeah, the disco leaked a little coolant. We were a little concerned that it was, it had the head gaskets were acting up, I don't know. For those of you that don't have Discoveries, they have an electric remote, and one of the buttons is unlock the doors, and another button is like the panic button. And then the third button is actually the head gaskets blow if you push that. So you got to be real careful.
Yeah, not to lean. It's you got it in your pants and you lean against something, and you look at the head gaskets wrong in that motor and they blow. So it's it's one of those things. It's not. To be fair, it was like you said, it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is right in the danger zone for a Discovery One overheating. So you got to be careful. Any warmer than that, and there's no chance.
We tried to keep it out of the sun, but it's tough. It's tough when you're in the desert to keep it out of the sun.
There's just there's nowhere to hide. It's they're a temperamental beast, but fun to have. Well, that's really that sounds like a very cool trip. We're gonna put some of those photos, Ike's photos, and potentially if we can shake them out of Nick, we'll get some of Nick's photos up on the Instagram this week as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed the Instagram of the following week. We had some pictures from Ike at the British Heritage Museum with Buttercup and some of those things. So, stay tuned to the old Instagram.
I think Nick might be maybe doing an article. We'll see on that trip. Not to put too much pressure on him, but suspect that he might be doing that. So hopefully we'll have a magazine article or something that you guys can check out.
Strong expectations from Nick on that. He's basically committed. Ike, how's your Thanksgiving, buddy? What did you guys get up to for Thanksgiving?
Well, we do a lot of work on Land Rovers at the Pangolin 4x4 shop, and we're always driving them and test driving them. So, we have a holiday, and to take a day off from the shop, we decided to drive and work on Land Rovers as sort of a break from driving and working on Land Rovers. So we did a little excursion to a fire tower on Fairview Peak, which we decided would be a great place to have a Thanksgiving meal, which actually turned out to be really nice. It was we did not fully appreciate the weather that we were going to encounter at altitude. We ran into some snow there's quite a bit of snow, and the road to the lookout tower is pretty rugged, and the combination of the two provided a little bit of a challenge for the Land Rover. At one point, we had to air down and kick everybody out of the Land Rover. I think we had 4 people and 2 dogs in a short wheelbase Land Rover station wagon, and all of our Thanksgiving sort of food and supplies, and so everybody had to get out, and so the Land Rover could make it up this snowy hill. And
I did see the video of the car screaming up the hill, which is always fun.
We were probably a quarter mile from the lookout tower at that point, and I was driving and not wanting to stop on the hill, so I just left everybody to walk up the rest of the way. But it was cool. Yeah, we did some sections of a trail in the Bohemia mining district, which is kind of a neat area to explore. A lot of old mining activity and some mines and so forth. Some neat trails. The Noonday Wagon Road and the Knott's Trail, which is really cool. That's KNOTT Trail.
Like the same people as the Berry Farm. It's the same.
Probably
not those guys. Yeah.
So
I think
we got to the fire tower. Yeah, the wind was probably 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, so pretty gusty and cold. So it was really nice to get into the fire tower and have a really nice meal overlooking, thousands of acres of wilderness. You could see all the way from the Three Sisters, and on a clear day, you can see Mount Hood on that watchtower. So all the surrounding mountains, really cool. Lots of snow on there, really beautiful. It was super nice Thanksgiving. Really enjoyed it. And then on the way back, we did some sections of the Knott's Trail we haven't seen before. We explored some mines. We actually went into some of the mines and saw some of those really kind of interesting cave fauna. This particular one, there was like thousands and thousands of daddy long legs spiders, like crawling all over the ceiling and falling from the ceiling in knots of hundreds of individuals, and like into your walls
open
and the ceiling. It was like a Indiana Jones sort of scene. And these massive crickets that were like 6 inches long, and bats, of course, God. And moth orgies, like just hundreds of moths just writhing. Yeah, just pretty interesting, but also kind of gross.
Yeah. Nothing says Thanksgiving like a moth orgy. That's for sure.
It's the dust.
Linus is actually still in the cave. He
was all over your fingers.
Jesus. Linus is still in the cave. He was carried off by a group of particularly entrepreneurial daddy long legs. So we're hoping to get him back soon.
Well, the good news is it maintains a constant 55 degrees in that cave. So I think he should be fine. But
yeah, he'll be fine.
We'll see.
He'll be fine.
We'll see.
Just eat some daddy long legs every few hours, and he'll stay nourished enough for us to mount a rescue sometime, hopefully early next week. So Britain's top model, Ike, this week. Now, this comes from a listener who was contacted me about his 1 ton and actually said, "Oh, geez, I don't think we've talked about the 1 ton Land Rover." Little bit of an obscure car in that there are not a huge number of them made, and they have some fairly unique pieces and parts that can sometimes be difficult to locate, and that they have the 2.6 liter motor in them as well, the six-cylinder motor in them as well, which is one of my personal favorites. So, Ike, what makes the Land Rover 1 ton such a unique car?
Well, Land Rover had been exploring a Dodge Power Wagon style competitor for several years into the early 60s. And we kind of talked about those with the 127-inch pickup, sort of a bigger Land Rover. And I think that they ultimately decided that, we're going to try and incorporate maybe as many parts out of current production vehicles into this as we can. And so, like a lot of things, they decided on the Land Rover One Ton, which is kind of a half measure. It's not quite as big or sturdy as the 127-inch pickup truck prototypes were, but it's a little bit bigger and burlier than the standard Land Rover. So the frame is largely the same. It has raised spring hangers to raise the suspension and give clearance for larger 916 tires, which is what the Power Wagons were using. And then it has some other features, a lower ratio transfer case and a lower ratio steering box that sort of help with the 916 tires. And those are really the special features, along with the wheels, which were made to be offset to accommodate those larger tires. So most of the things are really to accommodate the tires, in terms of its heavy-duty nature. It, originally, I think they were fitted with the E and V axles front and rear, and then later those changed to Salisbury axles, so they did have sturdier axles. And then the very last ones, I think,
both
have a Rover
front Salisbury and rear, Salisbury front and rear.
I was just getting to that. The last models, I think they didn't use a Salisbury front. They have a Rover front and a Salisbury rear.
A Rover
front.
Like the Stage 1.
They had some special parts. They had some special parts that made them particular, and all of the production models are pretty much 6 cylinders. Some of the really early prototype cars are 4 cylinders, most notably the Belgian military prototypes that they made. They made a few for evaluation for those military contracts that were a 4-cylinder version, and those cars are really cool. A friend of mine has one. It's one of these Belgian military prototypes. Came from Phil Bashall at the Dunsfold Land Rover Museum. I think they made 6 of those, and they were soft tops and pickups. And his particular one has the Land Rover hydraulic winch on it. Really cool truck.
Oh, cool.
They've kind of gained a following. These military and 1-ton trucks. They were really sort of designed to be used in commercial capacities, so the electricity boards and these sorts of places, tow trucks, and they were used in a lot of these kinds of capacities. Some fire trucks, like crash tenders and so on, got this 1-ton configuration, and they lasted into the Series 3 a little bit. But probably the most interesting ones are the 67 through 72 Series 2A 1-ton cars. Really neat trucks. A lot of people mistake the standard military GS cars for 1-tons because they have the raised suspension, they have some of the features, but the 1-ton cars do really have some special interesting things about them.
And how difficult is it to procure one of the different geared steering boxes or transfer cases or those different wheels? Are they, were they in very short supply, or because it was an industrial sort of used car? Is there a lot of new old stock parts? What's the temperament of trying to get pieces for that car?
Some of that stuff is hard. It's particular. It was sold in small numbers. Other things are inexplicably, readily available. An example would be the Land Rover 1-ton main shaft, of which I have 70 examples of, brand new. And I don't know what to do with them. There aren't 70 1-ton Land Rovers in the United States, or probably even the world, that need those shafts. So Land Rover 1-ton transmission main shafts are readily available. Some of the other pieces are difficult. The wheels were popular to use on other cars, because they have that offset and can accommodate larger tires. So a lot of those wheels got taken off of vehicles and used on other cars, moved around. So those were a popular thing. So some of them quite difficult to get, others not so much, but really neat trucks.
And is it
the
a regular
was really
series steering box? The Series 2, Series 3 steering box, just with different gearing?
Basically, it is very similar to the regular steering box, but it has a finer worm and nut, so there's more turns of the wheel to get the axles to turn. Neat trucks, and the advertising is really cool. A lot of, sort of industrial applications, cherry pickers and stuff mounted to the back of them. People, loading heavy things into the back of those cars. But they were all kind of, you know, it's like I said, it's kind of a half measure. It's still not as sturdy as a Power Wagon, not as beefy or burly as those cars, but it was definitely a step in the right direction. Bigger, you know, more commercial, more industrial than the standard Land Rover pickups were.
Well, series Land Rovers are a collection of half measures. Land Rover doesn't like to go all the way to something. They like to get, most of the way there and then leave out some important bits. But all the same, using some super proprietary, hard to find bits so that it's a real hassle to restore or maintain one. That's the Land Rover creed.
I don't know. I think that in retrospect, it's great because they kept the same parts for so long. You keep the same engine from 1958 to 1988 or whatever, with the 2 1/4, family of engines. Like that breeds a wonderful parts availability, right? So for an enthusiast who wants a classic Land Rover, it's amazing. But for somebody who wanted a modern commercial vehicle at the time, pretty disappointing when the competitors, the Land Rover in the 80s when they have engines that have double the horsepower and stronger transmissions and all these sorts of things that the competitors were offering. Pretty frustrating. But now it's easy to be like, wow, that's really nice to have that parts availability in a classic car.
It is. All right. Well, Ike, there's a few things going on the old internet. We ran a Black Friday sale on stickers. Hopefully, everyone had an opportunity to cash in on the very inexpensive 20% off the all remaining stickers, which I have to say, as we always say, the sticker inventory is dangerously low as always, but we've got some new things in the hopper, so not to worry. When these special ones sell out, we'll have more for you. So
I heard
we'll do some yellow series ones.
I heard the worldwide chip shortage is causing a sticker shortage as well. Is that true?
It's a sticker shortage as well. Yeah, that is true. There is a lot of capacitors in stickers, and our stickers are just that mark above what you would get from a standard sticker vendor. So yeah, we're hit with a supply chain shortage. We're also doing a Cyber Monday on everything that isn't stickers. So we want to kind of keep things interesting for people. So today you can head on over to any of your favorite underpowered houred areas, be it the Shopify store or the website or the everything. It's all the same thing. So come on over and get yourself some tiny, deficiencies books, perhaps some coasters. Ooh, and Ike, we have underpowered hour cufflinks. We've got some cufflinks for when you're going out for fancy times. We've got little underpowered Rover logo cufflinks. This is all from the laser cutting farm. We've got some great stuff from there. So jump in. T-shirts, of course, available. We are going to be doing a special edition T-shirt later on this month of December. And it's going to be pretty cool. Also, I don't know if you've noticed. I know that you are a frequenter of the old YouTube, but the Underpowered Hour is now publishing our video episodes. So you'll be able to get this episode on YouTube. And see what we look like. I'm remote today in Palm Springs, so I have a gorgeous elephant interpretive art thing behind me, and everybody can tune in and enjoy that. 1 month after the show has come out, the audio version. Or if you just can't wait, and I know you're impatient, if you just can't wait, you can become a Patreon supporter. You get those video episodes the same day you get the audio episode. You don't have to wait at all. You don't even have to listen to the audio. You can just watch the video. There are people who just watch video podcasts. It's a thing, apparently. I mean, you don't have to just watch it, listen to it in your car. Maybe you want to watch it in your car. You don't actually want to listen to the audio. You just want to watch the video. You don't want to hear what we're saying. You just want to see us. You just want to see us in your vehicle, on your iPhone, on an iPad you have screwed to the dash of your car. It's all fine. I don't care. I'm not judging. Whatever. And then finally, Ike, and I know this is something that you are particularly interested in. There is a Camel Trophy winning Camel Trophy winning. It won the Camel Trophy in 1990. Land Rover Discovery, that is the two-door Discovery, which is really cool. The only year they did that. That is up on the Bring a Trailer as we speak. There is 6 minutes left, and it's up to $61,000. Do you want to throw an idea, Ike? What do you think that car is going to go for? And we can find out next week how close we were. I'm going to throw out a number. I'm going to say $85,000. That's what I'm going to say for this car. That's a guess.
I'm going 72. I'm going to go a little conservative on this. Maybe people are busy with holiday stuff. Yeah. I don't really know, but I'm going to go 72 right? Just cause.
72. I like it. So
let's see what happens.
I'll take 85. Ike takes 72. Closest without going over. I'm going to do Price is Right rules.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I love it.
And we'll let you know on the next exciting episode of the Underpowered Hour. How much did that Camel Trophy get to? $90,000 like the one on Cars and Bids did. And if you have a Camel Trophy winning Camel Trophy, this will tell you, is it better to sell it on Cars and Bids or on Bring a Trailer? The ultimate question, which I'm sure everyone has been asking themselves, where is the better place to sell your Camel Trophy Discovery? Is it better to sell it on Cars and Bids or Bring a Trailer? Soon, in the next 5 minutes, we will know the answer. It's up to $66,666. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I'm in trouble. Trouble.
Yeah. I don't think it's going quick here. So we'll see, Ike. But Ike, as always, it has been a supreme pleasure hanging out with you again this week. And we've got, do we have some exciting guests coming up. Surprise, exciting, insightful, intelligent, and just all around charming guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. So do stay tuned for those. I'm not going to tell you who they are because it's more excited to be surprised. You can just wait. Don't ruin Christmas.
They're going to be good. So they're going to be good.
Tune in for
I'm going to look
forward to it. All right. Well, it's been a slice. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take care, Steve.